everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark! And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome or welcome back. Bandit may be joining us as well. So I want to do a mental health check-in. I've received a lot of questions and a ton of support from people on the channel who have known along the way that I've had some mental health challenges and have given words of support and words of encouragement and cards and stuff in the mail and all sorts of things. And I'm going through a little transition now, and it's going okay. So I just wanted to weigh in. So many times I come on here with awful things. Right now, we're doing good. So I called this from the eye of the storm because right now I am on day 5 of a 9-day med change. For those of you who were been around the channel for a while, there's a ton of videos. There's a whole mental health playlist of videos. And it covers everything from eating disorders to self-esteem to aging, to all sorts of different things, eating disorders. And it's because mental health is a really close topic to my life. It's my field of work also at this point. In those videos, I laid out that I have bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed in 2009 and I've been in treatment ever since. Treatment has involved therapy, medication. I also have a co-occurring drug and alcohol issue, and that has had since 2012, I've been in recovery there. Now, of course, recovery means there's blips on the radar. I have been in the hospital once and to the ER a couple times in recovery during medication changes, which is what brings it to today's topic because I'm currently going through just that. Now, as a cocktail for my medications, having bipolar 1 disorder, I take an antidepressant, a mood stabilizer, an antipsychotic, something for anxiety, something non-narcotic for anxiety. So I've been on the same antidepressant for years at this point. They used to be only seasonal, but now I just take one prophylactically. I needed it all year round. I take Lamictal, which is an anticonvulsant thought to help stabilize mood and help bipolar depression, and it seems to. I've been taking that also. I previous to that took lithium, which made me gain 60 pounds, and I was a zombie. I never like when people say, it made me a zombie. This made me a zombie. It made me a zombie, so I didn't like it, and it made me fat, big and fat, and swollen. Never mind. So, after that, switching, and actually I had switched to Lamictal when I was in a rehab. I was doing not too bad and stayed on it. Now, the antipsychotic is the wild card. I was on, when I was diagnosed, Seroquel, which is not old school, it's an atypical antipsychotic. And it's not a bad drug. It's usually worked with combinations. Like I have bipolar, so it's a cocktail of drugs working together for me. It's how I roll. Now, the antipsychotic that I had initially was Seroquel, and then it was making me kind of lethargic, and it was making me twitch a little bit. So this was 2015, went to the doctor, we're going to change prescriptions, okay? 2015, we changed to another drug called Saffris. I go into an alarmingly manic episode during which we buy, hey Bandit, we bought Bandit, the car that we had at the time. I was chewing through money, went to the casino, totally out of it. So switched back to Seroquel. Then I would say it was a couple years before COVID, maybe a year before COVID. I was done with the Seroquel again. It was making me puffy. It was causing problems with everything from my appetite to my libido, just across the board. So talked to my doctor and we switched to Latuda. Latuda was not generic at the time. So it cost $1,400 without insurance to get it. My work insurance, it was on the 4th tier, so it was $70 a month, which is not awful. And whoever the manufacturer is, I think it's Pfizer, has a program, so you get the prescription, for like $10 for a whole year, something like that. So we used that drug for a while. Then lately I was describing having some what I thought could have been health problems, and we weren't sure if it was mental or physical, so I was going to the doctor and I was going to the shrink, and we're trying to figure out why my stomach was upset all the time and why I was having racing thoughts and couldn't sleep and all that kind of stuff. So we checked my thyroid, and that seems to be fine. So that brought me back to my mental health provider. So I had made an appointment for a follow-up after I saw my doctor and figured this stuff I'm dealing with the stomach and having a hard time eating. Still love my congee, but I haven't been eating, I hadn't been eating much else at the time. I've lost over 40 pounds since February. I haven't been exercising, except for lately I'm trying to make it feel healthy. So I'm trying to eat a little better and trying to walk, but most of it was just not eating. So I'm all flab and bones at the moment. And because I've just been not hungry. The clothes fit better, but it's a very hollow sense of satisfaction right now to feel my hip bone. I always thought I would love to lose weight without trying. But if this is without trying, never mind. Never mind. So all those things considered, the rather large weight loss and the stomach issues, we're trying for other options. So what other options do I have? So I don't want to change antidepressants. It's a big mess. It always is. And I'm okay with the Lamictal. I take an anti-anxiety. It's an antihistamine for anxiety. It's called Visceral, the brand name. And I can take it up to 3 times a day. It barely works. It gives me dry mouth, but it does take the edge off of if you have an immediate panic attack and you need something to take right then, right now. It's not strong. It's not potent, but it's okay. Problem with that being not potent is that I'm developing anxiety that I can't manage, and thoughts that I can't manage, and low motivation, which is hard to manage. Now I'm functioning, I'm in motion, I'm doing, I'm at work, I'm here, I'm not, on the threshold of being fired, I'm not on the threshold of divorce, things are okay. But I wasn't feeling me. So went to the doctor about a week ago. I think it was on Friday. And we had a discussion. And I was very honest. I said, look, I have a meeting at 10:30 in an hour. I said, I have no idea how I'm going to get through it. So the thought of it makes me sick. And I'm almost bursting into tears in the waiting room, waiting to talk to her about this thing that makes me cry. So we sit and we begin. She takes my pressure. She takes my weight. And as we're talking, it's like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I need something. I said, I'm feeling a little desperate here. I'm like, and Mark and I always check in the day before my shrink appointment. I see the PA at my psychiatrist's office. Same one for years. I've been lucky. And I'll talk to him the day before and say, I'm going to the doctor. Is there anything you've seen that you notice that you want me to bring up? Because some things I can't see. There's some things I don't notice. Not denial as much as like a complete lack of insight. I have no idea that I'm behaving abnormally at all. And whether that looks like I'm speaking really fast or fidgeting or running around doing 1,000 things. There's a lot of ways to look unwell. Having bipolar disorder, unwell can be depression, it could be mania, it could be psychosis, it could be psychotic depression, it could be all sorts of things in between. Like I said, I like being stable. I respond usually pretty well to meds, which is lucky. A lot of people don't. I do advocacy at one of the state hospitals around here, or I did do it up until recently. And there's people that need support that much for a lifetime. One of my biggest fears has always been going insane. I'd rather be dead than insane. I hate to say it like that, but at least once I maybe had totally set sail, I'd be fine. But I always get hot under the collar and very, very nervous during times like this. I started the day in the doctor's office last week with a new med change. We are going from Latuda to Zyprexa, which I have to say I like the sound of better. Now, why Zyprexa? I had taken the other drugs in the class to replace that. Nothing seemed to work. I had taken 2 and 3 anti-psychotic medications to try to help, and they didn't work. Zyprexa is prescribed for folks with schizophrenia and bipolar type 1 disorder. It's supposed to quiet electrical activity in the brain. It can be prescribed PRN as needed. So if someone's having an attack of some sort of delusion or hallucination, they can take it and it'll bring them back down. And then on lower dose, you take it every day. The cumulative effect is supposed to be that it'll increase my motivation a bit. It'll work with the Prozac, that's the antidepressant I take, to curb OCD kind of behaviors, which ties into eating disorder stuff, and to just be overall more calm. It's the fine line that concerns me between calm and drugged. Here we are calm, here we are drugged. Okay, that's not the same thing. Calm, I give my left arm to be a calm person. It's just not how I'm built. There's some areas of life where I'm very laid back and I'm very chill, and it's not a show. I'm not that keyed up about some stuff. And there's other things that are probably very small to other individuals that kind of blow me out of that explode the symptoms that I have outwardly. So we're on day 5 of the med change. The first 3 days I was taking the whole dose of the one medicine and then a half dose of the new one. And then to this 3 days, so now yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I'm taking 2 of the one, like 2/3 of what I was taking, and then 1 of the new one. Then 3 days after that, the full dose of the new med, and then like 1/3 of what the other one is. And then from there, after 9 days, I'm just doing the new one. So we're checking out things. We're looking for fun with side effects. I did actually stay home from work yesterday. I was having a little trouble speaking. I was slurring a bit. I'm taking the Zyprexa at night so I can sleep off most of the side effects. I will say I slept through the night. Mark said it looked like I was drugged because I was drooling, but I hadn't had a good night's sleep in probably 8 months. So to sleep through the entire night and wake up not tired in the morning in time for stuff I was floored that happened. So to that end, things are good. One of the big side effects with Zyprexa can be weight gain. I have a history as well, because I'm so multifaceted. I am large, I contain multitudes. I also have a history with eating disorders. And Zyprexa is notorious, antipsychotics in general, notorious for weight gain. Weight gain as far as slightly messing with your metabolism, but by and large increasing your appetite. I remember if you've ever played with THC, I won't tell, but if you've ever had the munchies, it's a very similar sensation. The magnifying taste of everything you're eating. Everything tastes so good, so delicious, and there's no sense of fullness. You could eat and eat and eat and eat and not blow up. And go right, eat as much as I can and pass out. That was like my escape when I was in certain parts of college. Let me just give me my food and my place to go and we'll go high. So I had concerns about going on to the medication now because what if it makes me fat? I'd be tempted to discontinue it. Now, I'm trying to make bargains with myself. I'm like, look, if you have to be 200 pounds instead of 180, and it's the difference between this side of the rubber room and in it, make it work. However, I'm liking how I'm feeling so far. I'm interested to see how it continues to go. And I'm also just feeling better, just feeling a little bit better. I was a little nauseous yesterday, had a bit of a hot flash, didn't get sick. Haven't been sick and have been able to eat a variety of foods as of lately too, which has been helpful. And I can have this, I've been having spicy, I had all different kinds of stuff. Now when we're having the cautious stomach, we're having our rice porridge. That's it, rice porridge, air fried french fries, and ramen. Those are the safe to go foods if I'm not sure if my stomach's gonna relax or react well or not. But we've been good for about a week. I've been sick for about a week, and it was only once the week that it happened last week. So we're calling that progress. Going forward with it, I have Mark in the loop. He knows what's going on with me. Work is in the loop. I told them on Friday when I had an appointment. I do have arrangements at work that if I needed to take any time off for, my mental health reasons, I can do that, and my job would be held. I also have a ton of paid time off right now because I usually am sicker than this time of year. Almost every July, I have some sort of major melodramatic medical issue, mental or physical. Do you remember I had to be in the hospital for a week, like 2 years ago? So something will happen usually in July, and I'll chew through all my time. Well, I haven't chewed through all my time now. I still have it. So I can actually take a day off and be paid for it. So that was yesterday's plan. I laid low. We watched TV. I stuck with fluids. I put on comfortable clothes just to kind of give myself a sense of comfort because the thoughts and the sensations can be kind of uncomfortable. I have been shaking just a little bit. My mouth is getting really watery even now as I'm talking. Of course, I'm convinced I'm going to be a drooling vegetable by tomorrow morning, but here we go. I'm going to have to give it some time and consider if it's going to be a short-term or a long-term side effect, what I'm dealing with. So if I have the shakes now, will they go away in a week? If I have the runny mouth now, hypersalivation, will that go away? We'll find out, I guess, as time goes. But I want to give it a fair shot. I'm not, I wasn't keen on the idea of this medication, period. To me, this particular medication meant that I was very, very sick. And at the time when I was being prescribed medications, I thought that's the one they give the really crazy people. It's for schizophrenia. Don't even say it out loud. And, which again, I don't have. I have bipolar disorder, and it's indicated for that as well. But those are the big ones. Everyone's depressed. Everyone has anxiety here and there, but psychotic mood swings and schizophrenia is something most people don't go, oh yeah, I have psychotic episodes all the time. I take something for it, or I go to yoga, or whatever. It's managed very, very differently. It seems to be a little more severe, if you will. Harder to manage, harder to treat sometimes. So I'm engaged in treatment. That's what we're doing. I'm going to finish out with this taper, see how it goes. I have a busy week of traveling. Not too far necessarily, but traveling. And I have one trip I'm going to be able to take Mark with me, as a work thing. So that could be cool. I have a facility to visit, and he might be with. So that's to look forward to. It's getting into fall, which is nice. The sun is nice. The weather's cool. This is my time of year. This is my kind of summer. This is my time of summer. And then when we get into October and we have another warm, rush, that's what I like as well, because it's very cool at night. Trying to watch my sleep, trying to watch my food, trying to spend time with the kitties. Right, Bandit? He doesn't know it's me because I'm scratching his head and we're right here. So, The kitties have been helpful. Doing a little bit of daily gratitude has been helpful. Every time Bandit jumps in my lap, no, Bandit doesn't jump in my lap. I would drop dead, you know. Um, if Oscar jumps up on the chair with me or sits down, I'm like, that's a good reminder to do a quick gratitude list of like 10 things, whatever I can think of. And we're going the basics: food, clothing, shelter, a cushy chair, good feline companions, friends, family, a car that works, a job that pays, all those little things, because it's in the eye of the storm. It can be hard to think outside yourself. I can get incredibly selfish when I'm sick with mental health issues, because I start to get sucked into, how am I doing? How am I feeling? Why doesn't anyone care how I'm doing? What about me? And it kind of goes into this Ophelian, rant beyond that. So it's I'm in a different place in the moment, which is nice to be in. And it's nice to not feel like I have to rant about something. I got Mark with me. He's on board, so I've got all the social support in the world. I've got vocational support through the doctor, medical, all of it. So I'm optimistic, but we are still in the eye of the storm. This is the calm. So we'll see. Got through the first little bit, and now we're going to go through the rest. So again, thank you for those of you who've been listening and who've been following along with my journey. It's been years that I've been following along on YouTube about bipolar disorder and eating disorders and the like. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All our contact info is below. We now have memberships available. We have one tier. It's the Smokey Deck, $2.99. You get invited to member lives, member chats, members exclusive lives. And we send out photos from our family photo albums and more personal stuff, so definitely worth checking out. And do stop by one of our lives if you feel so inclined. Pretty much every Sunday around 3 or 4, we're live and I eat and we gossip about foodie beauty. So thank you for joining me, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye! Say goodbye, Mark! I guess he's in the garden. Bye.